I'm a scientist at heart. I live and breathe facts and truth. See, I like the idea that in science, there's only one correct answer. An answer which is based on evidence and on proofs. But in a world where misinformation touches every single corner of the internet, and shared enough, someone's opinion can become fact. It's scary to see this corruption of truth affect something that I hold dear. See, we live in a post-truth world. This is a world where people are more likely to accept an argument based on their feelings and beliefs, rather than one based on facts. A world where reading something doesn't make it true, and seeing isn't always believing. Knowing this, who believes this is true? I hope none of you. As creative as I am, my Photoshop abilities still have a lot to answer for. And that is without the hundreds of years of evidence that tells us the Earth isn't flat. But why is evidence sometimes not enough to convince some people of the truth? See, this idea that the news can lie or alter facts is nothing new. Even to this day, 50 years later, the first ever moon landing by Apollo 11 is still considered by some to be a hoax. We have lost the accountability previously available. Before this, our news would come from qualified journalists. Now, 64.5% of the 2.4 billion internet users across the world receive their breaking news from social media outlets such as Facebook or Twitter. That's Facebook, where anyone has access to post and claim all sorts of things are true, with little consequences to themselves, but sometimes huge consequences for society. Anti-vaxxers is the term used to describe a group of people who believe that vaccinations are in fact harmful and thus choose not to vaccinate their own children. This belief often stems from a lack of understanding of what is actually in a vaccination, as well as how they work, and has been exacerbated on social media by the spread of supposed scientific papers and claims. That's worrying. That anyone can post something and be believed. As you can see, this belief became a movement which involved supposed re-education of the masses to the truth behind these harmful vaccines. And although some rather amusing headlines have come out of this one being my absolute favourite, the fact that it had to be touched on pets as well was just amazing. However, just 3 years after the UK earned its measles-free status, the virus is back. There's been a drop in the number of parents getting their children vaccinated with the MMR vaccine, and a rise in cases of measles originating from the UK. And it's as though we're taking a step backwards in the fight against deadly, yet preventable diseases. But I, like many of you here, am busy and don't always find the time to read that scientific paper that supposedly prove lizard people walk among us, or that the Earth is in fact flat, and instead dismiss that misinformation as a fun link to send to a friend. But should we be more concerned than we are at present with the power that comes with this information? Power that became all too real during the 2016 American presidential election, where faked emails were released on WikiLeaks, incriminating Hillary Clinton in being involved in a human trafficking ring, working out of a basement of a pizza shop. This was dubbed Pizzagate. This news went viral on social media outlets such as 4chan and Twitter. It spread like wildfire. Eventually, the employees started receiving death threats. There was daily protests held outside of this pizza shop. Unfortunately, this all came to a head when one man fired a military-style assault rifle in this shop to try and save the people supposedly in the basement. He was, unfortunately, met with a lot of hungry and scared patrons. See, us humans, we're a tribal bunch, and we have always surrounded ourselves with like-minded individuals. But if you throw into this mix the possibilities of the digital age, where social media can create a sense of confirmation bias between people not exposed to differing views, so extreme positions, such as believing there are harmful levels of mercury in the MMR vaccine, can be adopted. Where does the liability lie in this case? I don't know. Do you? Isn't it then our social responsibility to not only doubt these supposed facts, but source check and find where this evidence comes from? Could we go a step further and say that it's also our corporate digital responsibility to help endorse unbiased research and give back to society by bridging this trust gap? Deep fakes. These are an up-and-coming piece of this technology, which takes fake news to a whole new level. Essentially, they are videos manipulated using machine learning and AI to change a person's appearance, behavior, and words. They can map a person's face and body onto someone else doing and saying anything that the designer wants. To properly understand this, here's a video of Barack Obama saying some quite outlandish things.
We're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things. President Trump is a total and complete dipshit. Now, you see, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele.
Scary, right? This gives people the power to make anyone, politician, celebrity, SVP, say anything that they want. Think of the impact that this could have. Going a step further, when these videos become more commonplace, this could give people the grounds to deny something that was actually said. Should we be more concerned if these videos are used as a weapon? Could this defamation of character become the new hacking? But with like every piece of technology in our digital age, the results aren't always negative. This tech is already being implemented in the TV and film industry. A great example of this is with the famous actress Carrie Fisher. You may know her as Princess Leia from the Star Wars franchises. Unfortunately, she unexpectedly died 3 years ago. But thanks to this technology, she'll be reprising her role in the new and up-and-coming film being released soon. Deepfakes are also being implemented in museums and in schools. So everyday individuals can have the opportunity to talk with prominent people. So, going back to our Atos X question, are these relatively good aspects of this technology enough to argue that it's making the world a better place? See, I'd really hope that after this talk, if I stood here and said definitively yes, they were, or no, they weren't, you would doubt me. You would ask where my evidence comes from. And in that sense, I hope that if anyone stands here today and says yes or no without any evidence, you would doubt them as well. Because that is what we need. In a world where social media encourages confirmation bias, the evidence of scientists are ignored at a whim. And any breaking news video could be faked. What are we doing? As individuals, as a company, to bridge that trust gap. So, finally, as a kind of social experiment, no matter what you amazing judges decide for this competition, I'll be posting this on LinkedIn later. Thank you.